Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Tigo.
What is my name again?
Hurry up, we got like 9 episodes to do, man.
But it's John.
And welcome to episode 8.1 of the E3 section of podcasts.
Square Enix.
Yeah, today is Square Enix. This shouldn't be that long of a podcast. We did get some announcements, and just to kind of give a brief overview, if you haven't watched the Square Enix announcement, I would recommend watching it. There were only four kind of big things that I kind of saw there. But let's go in order. The first thing I wanted to touch on was the Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition, right? Because I think that's the kind of the least exciting of all of the Final Fantasy announcements that came out.
Really? I thought it was the most exciting one.
The Crystal Chronicles.
Think about playing Final Fantasy out in the mobile.
That's a thing that I thought was really interesting as well. That I was going to bring that up, right? It's coming to Switch, it's coming to PlayStation, but then at the end there we saw, hey, it's also coming to mobile. That's really interesting.
So those who are like great fans of Final Fantasy, you're going to enjoy the mobile.
But the thing that's, I don't know if it stood out to you, because we did watch the conferences separately, and we watched like the trailers and stuff separately. What did you think of it being like remastered? I felt like all you did was kind of like I didn't see the remastered in it.
Yeah, me neither.
I went back to the original games and looked at those games, and I was like, okay, you can clearly tell that like the screen resolution is better, but other than that, like it wasn't much.
I think it just was like upscaled a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. I don't think they went in with new textures. I don't think they went in with anything like that. It's the same problem I had with Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. That didn't look remastered at all to me. That looked like they just took the old game and then just re-released it in 1080.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, it was just like it's good for Final Fantasy fans who are going back to those games because, you know, like you love those stories and those are some of like your favorite characters if you're a big Final Fantasy fan. But like, I felt a little underwhelmed by that announcement. Especially when you consider the Final Fantasy VII Remake announcement. Like,
It was ridiculous.
yeah, like, I'm super hyped for the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Final Fantasy looks like a completely different game with just the same story.
Exactly, and that's the thing, right, is what I was going to talk about is they went with the Final Fantasy 15 kind of mechanics, the Kingdom Hearts kind of mechanics.
Action combat.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I really liked Final Fantasy 15. I thought at the time it was the game of the year, like when it came out. I played through that game like 3 or 4 times. I collected all of the swords. Like, I loved that game.
You tried 100% in it.
I didn't try 100%ing it. There was so much to 100% it. But like, I went through that game multiple times. I still like have this disc for that, and every once in a while I'll hop back in because the combat is just so good in that game. And then looking at the trailer, and then also looking at that boss fight, it was like 30-minute boss fight or whatever it was. Like,
and the cutscenes were amazing. Yeah,
it was an incredible game. It was one of those things that it's just like, man, it got you excited for Final Fantasy VII. Like, I haven't been excited for a Final Fantasy game since 15. And 15 took like 9 years to make or whatever it was. Like, because they announced it in...
and Final Fantasy VII has one of the more important, popular characters, Cloud.
It's the iconic character. It's
exactly.
Cloud, right?
Cloud. Like,
everyone knows who Cloud is. Like, Cloud is in the Smash game, right? Like, Cloud is the... Like, when you think Final Fantasy...
I'm surprised Tifa isn't in the Smash games.
Yeah. But, like, when you think Final Fantasy, you want to know what I'm not surprised is in there? Chocobos. Chocobos would be the things of it.
No, Sephiroth's also not in it.
No. The only Cloud character... The only Final Fantasy characters I think is Cloud and one other person. I don't remember. You should tell me. You're the one who plays Smash like on religiously.
I'm sorry, but I don't know their names.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like it's an interesting concept because of that, you know, like they're changing up the whole dynamic of Final Fantasy VII, like for real. It's a whole new. It's no longer that JRPG turn-based. You know,
which is I'm gonna kind of admit since I do enjoy JRPGs.
But you never played Final Fantasy, like the original Final Fantasy games, so it's not
like... I
don't
enjoy JRPGs.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you don't enjoy them.
The
but
main
like,
reason why I haven't jumped into Final Fantasy is like there's a huge universe of like so many games.
Well, yeah, you're like, and then it's not just so many games, like, right? It's because like Final Fantasy 13 has like 3 parts to it. So there's Final Fantasy 13 1, Final Fantasy 13 2, Final Fantasy 13 3, and so it's like you've changed the dynamic of the game finally to with like I'm excited. I never played through the original Final Fantasy 7. Like I know who Cloud is, like I know that story, but I never played through it just because it was like
JRPG?
yeah, I wasn't a big fan. Like I do like JRPGs, but I can't like just sit through it and through a whole game. And Final Fantasy VII honestly has me really, really excited.
Yeah, I saw the gameplay and like, wow, I'm hyped.
Yeah, and the trailer was incredible. And the great thing is like, I don't think we saw a release date on it. Man, I don't remember if there's a release date or not. But
It's
like,
all fuzzy.
but it was one of those things where like that seems like it's relatively soon. That seems like it's next gen. Like that seems like we're getting that next year, which is kind of exciting. You know, obviously we're getting next gen consoles next year. And if Final Fantasy VII is going to be one of those like drop games, like release games, that's really exciting. Like that's a reason to go get a PlayStation. I don't know if it's coming for Xbox. I'd assume.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's coming for Xbox.
Yeah, I'd assume. Square Enix doesn't like they do sometimes tend to be like
Cross-platform?
not cross-platform, but like PlayStation exclusive games,
Yes.
like PlayStation PC exclusive. Like when you look like back in the day. Because like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2
I think
were...
it's generally like more Nintendo exclusive.
No, they are way more PlayStation. Remember like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2? They were only on PlayStation.
Oh yeah, you are right.
So it's one of those things where it's just like, you know, that's a big deal. And I'm really excited. Like I don't know, like honestly, I think I'm really excited for Final Fantasy VII to come out.
That's not mine. What can I say?
It looks incredible. I hope that they keep all the same mechanics for Final Fantasy 15. Just being honest, I really hope they keep that going.
I am excited about Final Fantasy VII, but you know what I'm not excited about?
What?
The remake Crystal Chronicles.
Yeah, but like it's like we mentioned, like when you're looking at the remastered games, like how are they supposed to compete with the Final Fantasy VII? Like they don't look good. Like, okay, if it's nostalgia that's bringing you back to the Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles remastered or Final Fantasy VIII remastered, great. But like, if you're like, how are you expecting to draw in a new audience of gamers with that? Like, you can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not a good enough of a remastered. Like when they did the Kingdom Hearts remastered, Square Enix did a great job because they actually gave it new textures. It wasn't just like an upscaled version. They gave it new textures. They gave it new controls, they kind of gave it a new scheme. It was the same game, but it was new looking. They brought it to this generation. It's the same thing that Nintendo did with Wind Waker HD, right? Like they didn't just upscale it, they brought it into a new generation. They brought it into like a new, like it was graphically different. And that's what got me for that, you know?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that's exciting. That was kind of like the remakes and stuff that they did. I think the really, really important thing there, one of the more important things, was the Outriders announcement. That was incredible.
Remind me what that is again?
Dude, you just watch it, Outriders. It was the people who made Gears of War Judgment and Blood Run or something like that.
So I think there was a Microsoft like teaser trailer for Outriders. I can't remember.
Yeah, it looked
but it looked like what is this?
Like a sci-fi shooter with like aliens and magic. Like it seemed like Destiny, but not so
like a more serious version of Destiny.
Yeah, like it, which got me a little concerned because like I don't think Destiny is that great of a game. Like just like mechanically, like there isn't enough content in Destiny to keep you there. And my fear is, with Outriders specifically, is that if you release a game like that...
Do you believe it will be... I believe it will, but do you believe that it will be like kind of like open world like Destiny where it's like online?
I think it'll be more like Destiny where... Because Destiny is not open world.
Well,
That's not... It's instance-based.
Instance-based.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have instances that you can kind of populate into, and it'll populate other characters with you. Open world, like... Breath of the Wild is an open world game. Assassin's Creed, they're open world games. But Outriders, I think, is going to be... I think it's just Square Enix taking a shot at Destiny. I don't think there's a game out in the market right now that can actually compete with Destiny.
The closest thing's probably Anthem.
Maybe. I thought the first game that popped into my head was The Division.
Because Anthem, like, when as it was getting released, people were getting hyped about it because it's so similar to Destiny, but it's like in third person, I believe.
See, that's what I thought, but I thought Division was that. I thought Division was more of the... It's instance-based, you have grinds and raids for weapons and things like that. So, I don't know, because we don't have enough information for Outriders, right? This was just like an announcement
it was a
trailer.
yeah.
Yeah, like we're not getting it until 2020.
We didn't even get any gameplay. I think it was just like all...
No, that was all cinematic. Yeah, it was all cinematic. Like, we don't even know what the story is. All we have are these 3 main characters. But what does that remind you of? What other game has 3 main archetype character types, right? It's Destiny. And so... The thing that got me to think Destiny was that moment the girl shot that fireball right there.
Yeah,
right?
I was like, oh, look at that, there's some magic in it.
Yeah, it gave me that Destiny vibe, and I have more faith in Square Enix to pull off a game like that than I do EA or Bungie.
Yeah.
Like, after Bungie left the Halo team, like, after they left Halo and they left Microsoft, every game they've come out with, like, after that is trash.
Yeah, like, Destiny in general, like...
It's not good.
The final years of Destiny 1 was great. But that's the thing, only it was the final years, the original years were trash, and that's where all the people left, that's where all the impressions were made. But at the final years of Destiny, it was great.
But that's I don't think so.
Yeah,
I went back to it.
I feel like they took way too long just to, like, actually...
ramp up to get there.
Exactly.
Like, I don't think so. Like, again... I guess when you release a game like that, you go for the super niche audience because, like you play that game, like
yeah.
You're going back to it, like you're playing it regularly. Destiny 2, you're going back to it because of the new drops and everything like that. But it's like one of those things where I don't care for the raids. I guess that's the type of gamer that I am, right? But like I don't care for the raids in that game, really very much. And so the PvP for me got stale. And I guess that's what I enjoy is the PvP aspect. But like coming from you, since you don't like PvP, you played Destiny primarily for the PvE,
yes.
right? Like with that, did it get stale? Like what is that experience like?
It got extremely stale. There's like a huge lull of no time, like just doing the same raid to the point where I like completed like over 100 times the same raid.
But it was all to get, like, one weapon. And,
no,
like,
I already had all the weapon. I just did it to pass time.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, right? Like, those raids, like, if you're going to have that kind of instance-based system, like, what do you do to make it better? Like, do you just constantly release new weapons that are more overpowered than the next that you kind of need for PvE?
Well,
like,
what Bungie's doing is, they already did, they released random rolls, which generally, like, makes different, like, perks on the weapons.
Oh, so now you have a certain weapon,
yeah,
but
so
it has a random roll on stats.
Exactly.
So you can get the best rocket launcher, but have a really bad roll on it.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, they originally had that for Destiny 1, but on Destiny 2 they took that out. It got a lot of fans, like, really pissed off, but eventually they decided to add that back.
Yeah. See, I think that's a really good idea, because then that makes the grind kind of worth it. Like, that's why I could never get into WoW. WoW, it was a lot of, like, you gotta go in and you gotta get your weekly points, and they reset on Wednesday, but, like, you can get your points in one sitting, so it's just like, oh, I just got it on Wednesday, and then you're done for the week.
That's generally, like, any MMORPGs are
yeah,
like
but, like, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's what my fear for Outriders is, again, I have faith that Square Enix is going to deliver a good product, but, like, this is all speculation. We have no idea what Outriders is actually going to be. It looked incredible, like, cinematically.
Including that ending where the gate opens, that huge gate.
Yeah, like...
It looked like the gates of hell.
Yeah, like, it was incredible. And, it, like, the thing that stood out to me wasn't even the gates opening part. It was them standing in front of that giant, like, alien... like centipede walking. I don't know how.
Oh yeah, kind of like that alien creature.
Yeah, like with the giant legs.
So it gives you speculations where like they're getting invaded.
Maybe.
Or it might just be demons.
Like there's so many places and there's so many ways that game can go. Like the only thing we can do is sit here and wait to see what's gonna come next.
Trailers kind of like the Death Stranding.
Yeah, exactly. Because we don't know.
Hopefully, it's not like Death Stranding.
Yeah, again, I don't know. Death Stranding looked incredible.
No, I'm talking about how they released information. It was horrible.
Oh yeah, we have no idea about anything about it. Yeah, like again, to just kind of wrap up on Outriders, like I want more information. I think they did a good job with that trailer, right?
Yeah.
Because we're having a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Like, and a serious
a
conversation.
long conversation than Crystal Chronicles.
But like a longer conversation with Final Fantasy VII too. Like it's one of those things where, like Final Fantasy VII,
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII,
but it's a remake.
Expect.
Yeah, it's a remake. We know what the story is. This is a whole new IP. We've never seen this. Like, it's been a while since these guys have made a game. You know, because like the last game they did was was a game that they did right after Gears of War Judgment. So I don't know kind of what to expect mechanically. Like again, aesthetically, it looked beautiful. It looked incredible.
And it's going to be really great since it is cross-platform except to Switch.
My fear with that game though is that they said that it was supposed to come out Q3 of next year, right?
Yes,
of 2020.
Yes.
My concern is, what do they consider Q3? Because so every company, I don't know if you know this, right? I don't know if the audience knows about this either, but every company, the year doesn't necessarily start in January, right? So Q1 for every company is different. Like for example, our Q1 isn't January. It's when we launched the first podcast.
Yeah.
Right? That's our first of the year. That's when we would, like moving forward in the future, that's when we would start our year, is the day that we drop the podcast. Or not the podcast, but episode 0, right?
Yeah, so on New Year's.
Yeah. But that's when our year would start. It's the same thing with, like, I love Rooster Teeth. They're a great company, but Rooster Teeth starts their year April 1st. And that's their first day of the year. So Q1 for them is April, May, and June. So I'm hoping that Square Enix is the same way, that their Q1 is in April, because then that means Q3 is October, November, December. Then that means it'll be next gen. Like, are you really going to drop a brand new game right before next gen? Because let's say their Q1 is January. That means Q3 is like August.
No, that's just,
August, September, October.
Honestly,
no.
I just feel it'd just be like, 1st of January,
No, but like again, I don't know what Square Enix's Q3 is. So that's what my
concern is. And there are some
is.
games that say like early something, but we're like halfway in some of the things that said early 2019 hasn't been released yet.
Yeah, well, like a lot that happens all the time. They freaking announced Final Fantasy 15 in 2012. It took them 7 years or 9 years to make it. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those things. The same thing with Kingdom Hearts 3. You know what I'm saying? They announced that game forever ago, and so it's one of those things that like, oh, they didn't make it for who knows how long. And so, going back to it, I hope that that's a next-gen game. I really, really do.
It's probably going to be for the PS4, playable on the PS5 or
Xbox One, Xbox Scarlet, or whatever it is like that. Kind of like what GTA 5 did.
Yeah. Where
you could get it on old generations, and then when the next gen came out, it came out at the same time. Maybe, who knows? It'd be one of those things that I'd be, again, I'm concerned about. That's still my concern. When you announce Q3 of 2020, knowing that November, December, we're getting PlayStation 5 and Xbox Scarlet, you have to, like, make that decision wisely.
I know, to, like, drop it, like,
just push it back, moment. Yeah, like, push it back, like, 3 months. Like, you do that, because I think you have a lot more, like, do you remember Rome, the game for the Xbox that launched on drop?
Yeah, what about it?
But, like, do you remember that game?
Yeah, I remember the game, but I never actually played it.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. You know why you remember it?
Yeah.
Because it was a drop title. It was a launch title.
Oh.
I enjoyed the crap out of the game, but it wasn't, like, a great game. Mechanically, it was stale. The game was kind of easy, even on the hardest difficulty. Multiplayer wasn't the best, but everybody played that game because it was one of, like, the first 6 games that you could get on next gen.
Yes.
So it's one of those things where it's just like, if you want Outriders to be an instant success, do that. Be one of the launch games. Don't make it available.
Yeah, but people will definitely buy it, including if like they include it in like a bundle, purchase bundle.
I don't know if we'll get a bundle for it, but even if it's not in a bundle,
well,
if it's just
I,
a drop
I could definitely see like just like The Last of Us was.
But that's the difference. Last of Us is a Sony exclusive. Rome was in a bundle because it was a Microsoft exclusive.
Oh,
this is a multi-platform
right.
game.
It probably won't be a multi.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we might not get it in a bundle, but that's not what I'm trying to get at. Like, if you're one of the first, like, 10 titles to drop, your sales are going to be through the roof because you have an interesting premise. Just on the trailer alone, you have an interesting premise.
Trailer.
Yeah. Not even a trailer, the teaser, right?
Yeah.
You have an interesting premise. So if you're a launch title game, you'll have instant success. What will hinder that success is if you pull a GTA. Not that GTA wasn't successful, but GTA is the exception, not the rule, right?
Yeah.
If you drop it for old generation or current gen, and then you say in 3 months when next gen comes out, like, you're going to lose sales. People are going to buy it for current gen, but they're not going to rebuy it for next gen.
Yeah.
Unless you do like an upgrade, like, hey, like GTA did that, where, oh, you can bring in your old thing and you can get the upgraded version for like $10 or something like that. We never know.
Yeah, but I feel like more the newer gen are more going to digital editions. So if you do purchase a digital edition, you'll definitely be able to play in your next gen.
I don't think so. I don't know if it's a definite.
No, they announced that it's gonna be all their previous titles are gonna be backwards compatible.
Yeah, but that takes time. It's
On launch.
not, but it's not like, no. The announcement wasn't all of them on launch. The announcement was some of them on launch, with all of them coming.
I feel like it's gonna be all of them.
Because they said that with the backwards compatibility for the Xbox One. We still don't have all of the Xbox 360 games. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't believe that it'll be all of them. Because it's not that easy. Like, a port is not that easy. It's still complicated to make it work right. So, again, this is all speculation. But Outriders, Q3 2020, looks pretty good. I'm kind of excited about it. It looks really good. Looks really, really good.
Definitely excited about buying it.
Yep. Moving on.
Oninaki.
Yes.
Onaki.
What did you think? That felt like it was right up your alley.
I would definitely play it on the Switch. I would not play it on the PlayStation or Xbox.
That was my first thought as well. Well, my first thought was like, this seems kind of old school Legend of Zelda.
It kind of reminds me like a 3DS game.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
I was just like watching the trailer, like, this is a 3DS game, isn't it?
You know what other game that it reminded me of? Diablo.
Diablo, yes.
Because it was kind of like, it felt like it was like kind of top. It was top down. It had that kind of like the attack patterns and motions kind of reminded me of Diablo.
Yeah, I can see it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not Diablo at all.
It isn't, yeah.
Don't go and say, oh, I'm gonna compare this to Diablo. It's not that. It was. I had these thoughts in this order. I had, oh, that's an interesting Switch game. Then I thought, this kind of reminds me of Legend of Zelda. Then they showed his gameplay and I was like, but mixed with Diablo? Like, it was weird. I don't know, it looks interesting.
The story looked interesting. And,
yeah.
And I'm mostly about the story I see now.
Well, but that's 100% a story game. They're not going to have like a crazy multiplayer or anything like you might be able to like co-op.
You never know.
Like you might be able to co-op, but they're not going to have like PvP in that game.
Yeah,
like you play as the same character. Come on. Everyone's playing as that one hunter.
Dragon Ball Z Boost Fury?
No, because Dragon Ball Z games are ridiculous.
Well, you know how the type of Dragon Ball Z games are, like, you know, like punch, walk, punch, walk.
Yeah.
Well, it had a multiplayer on it.
Well, yeah, but that's a fighting game. That's different.
It was an RPG fighting game.
Still a fighting game. That doesn't change anything. Like, this is completely different.
No. Okay.
It's completely different.
It isn't.
Yeah, it is.
It is not Dragon Ball Z Boost Fury.
Okay, I have no idea what this game is, so stop referencing it, because I can't relate to it. Like, use a game that I can relate to, and then I maybe can agree.
It's kind of like Zelda Breath of the Wild.
No, Breath of the Wild is... like, you couldn't have PvP in Breath of the Wild.
No, I'm talking about the gameplay of Boost Fury.
Okay, I understand, but you're using Breath of the Wild as the example. You couldn't have successful PvP in Breath of the Wild.
I don't know if it would be successful. I'm just saying that's the style it was similar to.
Okay, but then... why are we even having this conversation? I don't think it's going to have multiplayer. They didn't have anything on there, and we have a release date. It's later this year, right? It's 8/22/2019. That's August? Dang, we're getting that in like a couple months. That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's like an actual game that you could go get for your Switch. Again.
Yeah, my Switch game is lacking. My Switch library is lacking.
Well, because the Switch library of games that are worth it are lacking. Like, they're just not... there's nothing really there that's really kind of good.
There are a few games, yeah.
Has the Nintendo multiplayer pass? What's that called? You know what I'm talking about? Like the thing that you need to buy to play like Smash Online or things like that.
Switch on? I don't know, something like that.
Whatever it is. Do they do the same thing where they do like free games every month, like Xbox and PlayStation do?
No, I believe they don't.
Okay.
But I think they do include access to the Nintendo.
The old school games.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have like the emulator, but they don't have. Dude, that'd be interesting. Why are we on this? Let's go back. I would not get Oninaki for the PC or PS4.
Yeah, it's definitely not worth it.
It's not a PC or PS4
Unless it was
game.
like worth like $5.
Again, I don't know what the price point is. It's probably going to be a $60 game.
It's probably going to be a $60 game, yes.
But my thing is, it looked good.
It did.
It looked fun. But if it's a $60 game, I won't get it on launch. Like, that's my thing. Like, I can wait.
Yeah, wait for
I can wait for a sale. I can wait for Black Friday.
There's definitely be a sale for it.
Dude, if you're going to drop it in August, you just wait like 3 months and you can get it on Black Friday, Cyber Monday at a deal. Like, you can just wait. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It looked interesting. I'll have fun with it. But, it's kind of my overall, like, kind of score.
Yeah, it's roughly the same to me.
Yeah, like it looked fun.
It looks fun. I'll enjoy playing it, but I won't go out my way.
But like, okay, did you get excited because it was a Switch game? Is that the only reason you got excited? Because that's what I found. Because if they would have come out and said this was a PC, PS4, Xbox One,
I'm like, are you serious?
I would have been like, whatever. Who cares? I'm never gonna play this game. Like, unless it's one of those free games of the month. But the moment you say, hey, this is available on Switch, I was like, now that's a mobile game. That's a handheld game.
Yeah.
That's a game I'll play on a car. I've got a trip to Miami coming. I was like, that's a game I'll play on my trip down to Miami. That's something that you could play for 4 hours.
I feel like the only reason they included Xbox, PS, and PC.
It's not Xbox. It's just PlayStation 4 and PC. Yeah.
Oh well.
Square Enix being super.
Well, I feel like the only reason they included it was the fact, like, oh, let's make it compatible for people who don't have the Switch.
Yeah, I think it's just the target audience. I think the target audience was the Switch, but you can't make a game just for the Switch in this generation.
Yeah, because the Switch is probably the lowest selling console right now.
No, it is.
It is?
It's the lowest selling platform for, like, it has the smallest market share. Dude, mobile has a bigger market share
Yeah, I can see that.
than the Switch.
Because everyone has stuff on.
Because I think in order, I think it's PS4, Xbox, mobile.
No, I think mobile is first.
No,
everyone has the mobile.
It's I think it's PC, PS4, Xbox, mobile, and then Switch. I think that's what the market share is. And no, just because you have one does not mean you have market share. It's active players. Not everyone who has a phone plays games. Our parents have phones, and they're not playing.
Everyone who plays games has phones.
That doesn't mean they're playing games on their phones. I know a lot of people that aren't doing that. But again, overall, kind of underwhelming with Oninaki. Like, really.
Yeah.
Just a little underwhelming.
Underwhelming, yeah.
I think
There's nothing that, like, jumped out of the screen, like, play me.
Yeah. Like, again, the combat looked interesting. There were different things there, but it wasn't like, oh my god, we gotta get that game. Oh my god, it looks incredible. Like, it wasn't anything crazy like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think Square Enix's pièce de résistance, the thing that got everybody talking.
Oh, yes.
Marvel's Avengers A-Day.
A-Day. It's like the A-Team guys, if you don't know.
No. So they're kind of trying to go off of like D-Day, E-Day, like D-Day for World War II, E-Day if you've played Gears of War. They're trying to go with that kind of vibe. After watching the trailer, I know you just watched the trailer. What did you walk away with it? What did you think? Like, what was your reaction?
What? No Captain America?
Well, no, we got Captain America. He dies. And we don't know the story, because Captain America dies in the comic books multiple times and comes back. So
he might come back as the Hydra agent. It was all his plan.
Well, that's what happened in the comics. No, I don't think he's currently a Hydra agent anymore. But he was a Hydra agent for a little bit.
That'll be exciting.
No, I want your actual opinion. Stop, like, friggin' goofing off. Like, what did you actually think? Like, that's what the point of this is.
I thought it looked pretty fun.
Really? Dude, I'm only asking that because I know you haven't gone to the news to look up anything. Every person on the planet for any video game kind of writing publication had the exact opposite reaction.
Why?
Everyone is super upset.
Why?
One, the look of the Avengers. Everyone hates it.
Well, of course they're not going to make it like the MCU.
No, that's not what they were complaining about. The characters just look like they look too bulky. Like, Captain America looked horrible, in my opinion. Iron Man's suit looked good, but the problem is the Tony doesn't, like, you hate Tony.
Goofy?
You just hate Tony. Like, they tried, like, the writing, you can see how hard they're trying to make him charismatic and witty, and it just doesn't work. Like, it doesn't come off that way.
Yeah, I know
like,
that.
Like, when you watch Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, whenever he does those quick quips and those quick, like, one-liners, like, you're like, oh, Tony. And then when you watch this and he does it, and you're like,
well, I don't really blame the voice acting. I mean, I don't blame the writing. I blame more the voice acting.
no, it's the writing. It's not the way that the voices are said. It's, because I read through it, it's the way that like, the writing is, like, the one-liners aren't good. Dude, they went for the easiest punchline, and that's the problem, I think, with Tony. It's the same thing with Thor. They lean way too hard on this guy's like a Viking god who doesn't speak English right. Like, all of his things was like kind of, I don't want to say broken English, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like that Norse Viking English. Yeah. They have little men running with guns. I was like, why are you leaning so hard on that? Like, just let Thor be Thor. Just let Iron Man be Iron Man. And then my other thing is why is Iron Man just, like, okay with Captain America giving all the orders? Like, that's never happened. Ever. Like, they've always butted heads. And why is it that Captain can just say, hey, Tony, Thor, go check it out, and he's like, aye, Captain. I was like, there would be a quip, like, he would go, but there would be, like, a snarky remark. I don't know, I just felt off. Gameplay looked fun.
It might be the fact that the writers weren't actually, like, aware of the Marvel Universe. They were more aware of the cinematic universe.
But then that's a problem. That's a big... Well, no, because they're not going with the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
No,
this is not the cinematic
talking
universe.
about, like, their characters.
But that's not an excuse. Like, if you're gonna go write, like, a Spider-Man movie, and all you're gonna use as reference are the previous Spider-Man movies, you failed your job. Right? You gotta go read the comics. You gotta go understand the actual depth of the character. You failed as a writer. And, like, you're writing a book right now. And when you went to go create that book, what did you do? You read hundreds of fantasy books. You've done all this research. You looked at these different things. Even though it's a 100% work of fiction,
yeah,
you still went out and you looked up, like, here are the rules. Here are the kind of... George R. Martin did the same thing. He read all of the Lord of the Rings and then said, I can do this. So then he wrote the Game of Thrones novels. So it's one of those things where, like, I don't know, man. It just came off really weird. The characters look like... They don't look good, in my opinion. And I just feel off with Black Widow being there. Everyone else has this superpower, and you're just kind of hanging out. Like, the villains looked really cool. I'm pretty sure we saw Taskmaster there. We saw... I forget what the Hulk guy's name is. The bad guy for the Hulk. We got all of these different, like, really big deal... Oh, I forgot Captain America's guy, too. The guy with the black mask. Oh, man, I'm blanking out on all of those villains' names. Doesn't matter.
I must be sicker than I thought, because I do not remember any villains.
Yeah, no, they showed quite a bit with the villains. And it's just like... I just didn't get excited for it. It just kind of looked like, oh, another kind of attempt to try to ride the MCU train. And I don't know.
I feel like that's exactly what they're doing.
100%.
100% what they're doing.
But it's not even a good attempt at it.
I'm still going to enjoy the game, not nonetheless.
I won't get it at launch. Like, we're getting it around this time next year. I won't get it at launch. You know what I mean? I might get it for the Stadia just to get it. For the Stadia, just to kind of see, like, hey, what is this game on? Yeah, like, what is this game on the Stadia? But that's assuming that the Stadia, up until that point, doesn't have better games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which I think by that point, the Stadia will have better AAA title games than that. I don't know how to feel about it, honestly.
I feel like it'll be dumb. It'll sell pretty well just because it's a...
No, it'll sell well. That's not... It's going to be a successful game. But being a successful game does not mean you're a good game. I feel like that way with Destiny. I think Destiny is a successful game. I don't think it's a good game. Call of Duty in the same way. I think this current Call of Duty was a successful game. I don't think it's a good game. I played the crap out of it. I don't think it's a good game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know? Interesting. Let us know what you guys thought about the Square Enix conference. A lot of different like mixed like bags and a lot of different genres shown and just a lot of content that you kind of did expect and then a lot of stuff you didn't expect. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, one thing you probably missed was Square Enix also announced one extra thing. They're releasing a music streaming service.
I didn't know about this. Are they?
Yeah, the trailer for it was hilarious. Essentially, imagine this. You walk into a cafe. You order a cafe, you sit at the table.
You order a cafe at a cafe?
A coffee in the cafe.
There we go.
You order a coffee at the cafe.
I'm asking questions because I want to be immersed by your story. I didn't know that you could. I thought this was a cafe that sold other cafes for like business owners. I just wanted to make sure, Jeff. That's what I'm asking.
Alright, so when you sit at your table...
With the new deed to the cafe that you just bought.
With the new deed to the cafe you just bought.
Do you get a free coffee with your new cafe?
Of course you do.
Okay.
What kind of cafe would give you a free coffee?
Okay, then with your purchase of your new cafe.
Exactly.
Okay, I was just going to make sure, because if you're going into a cafe to buy a cafe, you're just going to hang out looking at your deed.
But you can stay able to see what you want to sell.
Oh, because they also sell this stuff that you'll use
for your startup, and then you can build from there.
We should stop this idea, because this is a brilliant idea, right? Like, hey, this is a cafe, and we sell cafes, and you get a free cup of coffee with your cafe. And this is kind of what you'll get when you run your cafe. Brilliant. Exactly. Brilliant marketing.
So while we're sitting on the table with your deed of the cafe, drinking the
free cup of coffee.
Free cup of coffee. An orchestra comes in. An entire orchestra. And they set up
like the whole thing.
The entire thing.
Okay.
They set up behind you.
Why?
And then you're on your phone while taking a sip of your coffee and reading the coffee the deed.
Okay. Looking on Google Maps about where your thing is.
Exactly, yeah, of course.
Just building the scene here in
the orchestra gets ready and gets their paperwork up, the stands up,
the whole nine.
The entire nine, yeah. And then
why is it a whole 9? Continue. I'm sorry, I'm getting excited.
It's the whole 9 yards of the football field.
Yeah, but it's 10 yards for a first down.
Maybe they already made a yard. Oh, I don't know.
Go ahead.
So you the girl opens up. You open up an app on your phone, and then you put on the headphones. And the orchestra's like, "What the hell's happening right now? Why did she put on headphones?" Because they were planning on playing whatever she played on her phone. And then she gets up and walks out, and the orchestra's just like staring at her like,
"Where'd they grab?
What?
What happened?"
So essentially, it's a music a streaming app, a music streaming app on the phone.
But is it just for Square Enix games?
Square Enix games, yes.
Is it paid?
I believe their entire squad, probably yes.
See, I don't know if that's going to be successful.
Oh.
If they do it paid, I think they should do more Pandora-esque.
Yeah,
make it random with ads.
Yeah,
if you do that
with ads, yes.
If you do, and then you have a premium version so you can remove the ads. Because Square Enix, one of the best companies where if you look at just their library of soundtracks, one of the best, like hands down. Like the Final Fantasy games and Kingdom Hearts and...
Yeah, lots of people... There are orchestras that just like play music.
They travel and they just do Square Enix like concerts and stuff. Yeah, it's incredible. That's interesting.
So people who are interested in the Square Enix soundtracks will enjoy this app or website. I don't know.
Whatever it is. I'm not gonna lie. I have the Final Fantasy 15 CD. Like I have it because it came with a copy of the game. And
so if they do make it like Pandora, you might actually enjoy it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It wouldn't be my go-to. Maybe because they don't have any. They don't have any lyrics. It's a good idea to put it in the background while you're editing or something.
Exactly.
That's not bad because they do have like dang, that's a really good idea. But you have to make it free. You have to make it free with ads. Like you have to do it Pandora, not Spotify.
Yeah, Pandora. Definitely Pandora.
Anything else that the Square Enix live stream did?
No, I believe that was all.
That was it, right?
Oh, they did release some gameplay for Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, we talked about
But I felt like, honestly, I think that's the only reason why I didn't enjoy the Square Enix conference.
Didn't enjoy it?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's really an entire hour or 40 minutes or 30 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like 30 minutes.
It was a really long time. Just playing the Final Fantasy VII gameplay.
Yeah, it was just a boss fight. It wasn't even the whole.
It was just like one boss fight, and I'm like,
but
I get it. Just move on with the presentation.
no, but that was the presentation.
Yeah, I understand.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you play those
Yeah, because
games
Final
for.
Fantasy is what they were aiming for.
Yeah, it was the big things that they wanted to announce was Final Fantasy VII Remake, but this time it's an action player and Marvel Avengers A-Day. Like that was all they had riding on.
Yeah, the
And
other
then
ones
Outriders
were just
was like- Yeah, Outriders was out far from left field, but remastered 8 and Crystal Chronicles, who gives a crap? Oninaki, great, thanks
it's
for
just
letting
a
us
passing
know.
thought.
Yeah.
Oh
it's
yeah,
just-
guys.
Here's
I know you enjoyed our games that we just released. Also, we're also releasing these few games. Hope you pick up.
Hey, E3 wouldn't just sell us an hour of conference time, so we had to do 2-hour blocks. So here's all the stuff that we're gonna use to fill the back hour. Like that's kind of what it felt like, you know. If you had to give, I didn't plan on this, but since we're doing the first episode, I think we should, right? And we should do this with everything. If you had to give a grade for the Square Enix presentation on its own, not comparing it to everything. We're not trying to rank all of them. We've already done that. I'm talking about on its own, right?
That's horrible.
It wasn't that bad. Calm down. Square Enix, if you had to give it a grade, A being the best, going A, B, C, D, F, Z being the worst.
D+.
There's no pluses. What do you give
D.
Square Enix? A
D.
D? Really? Barely passing. Really? I'm thinking more like C.
It was way too much gameplay for me.
I
felt like
just don't think that excites you.
I feel
fine.
like the gameplay could have been like shown after the conference.
No, you couldn't do that. It had to be at the conference. I just think it wasn't a game that interested you. I think, like, even if that was like...
It did interest me. I just felt like the first 5 minutes the gameplay was amazing. But it just kept on dragging.
Yeah, see, I didn't feel like that at all. I was on the edge of my seat the whole 30 minutes, especially when they were switching between the characters and doing everything like that. It was... So for me, it gets a C. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was just average. It was what you expect from a E3 conference. That's what I got.
No.
Any last minute thoughts?
Nope, that's it.
Nope. All right. Guys, thanks for listening to episode 8.1 of...
Square Enix.
Yeah, the Square Enix conference of E3. Let us know what you guys think. We'd love to hear your opinions on... Specifically, what did you think about the Square Enix conference? You know? Let us know in the comment section below if you're watching on YouTube. Tweet at us. Send us a message on Facebook. Send us a message on Instagram.
Talk to us on Discord.
Talk to us on Discord. We're really excited. We'd love to hear your thoughts and your opinions on it. Tomorrow, 8.2, the schedule will also be out in the description below of whatever it is that you're listening to. 8.2 is the Ubisoft conference, so stick around for that tomorrow.
At 10 a.m. Eastern Time.
7 a.m. Pacific. My name is Tigo.
Did you say 7 a.m. Pacific?
Yes. 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. It's 3 hours behind.
I just heard you say 10 a.m. Pacific.
No.
And I said 7 a.m. Pacific. Anyways, my name is John.
My name is Tigo, and we're out. Hey guys, this is Tigo with Level 1 Sidekicks. We really appreciate you taking the time to listen to the podcast today. If you want to stay connected with us, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, like us on Facebook, or hop into the Discord channel to chat. We'd also really appreciate it if you subscribe to the Patreon page. It helps us out a ton, helps us get some really cool, new, exciting things going for the podcast. Other than that, we hope you have a great one.